All right, we're back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane.
I'm Scott. This is gonna be a good one. We're gonna talk about was this guy the one that had the ark with all the animals, or is that a different Noah?
No, same one. Same one.
This is
Same one. Okay, good.
Fant Noah. So welcome to the channel. We have great jokes like that one right there. No, we do 3 types of shows on Dynasty Trades in 5. We do strategy shows, trade shows, and individual profile shows. So today we're doing, obviously, Noah Fant. Guys, what do you think? He's always been this big name, you know. He's kind of lost his luster, I suppose. Is he a buy now, or is he kind of is what he is? Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, so we were trying to figure out, what player can we talk about that's maybe a little ambiguous, maybe we'll have some different takes on. So we decided on Noah Fant. And I'm not sure what Shane thinks or what Clay thinks, but, Noah Fant's one of those guys where it's like his price rose to almost an unattainable point after the first year, because the rule is when you're a really good tight end and then you have a year under your belt, you're just going to get 50% better the next year. That's just
Right.
the law. So, all these guys have to just continually get better and better and better. And if you can get 20% better after like 3 years, then you're just Travis Kelce or Rob Gronkowski. That's what we expect. It just doesn't happen. So his dynasty market, let's just face it, it's in the tank. People really are kind of off him. I mean, you have some people out there saying they're done with Noah Fant, they're wiping their hands clean, don't want him anymore. And it's like, well, let's take a step back and realize that, he's still just turned 24. He still finished as a tight end 1 last year, 10th in targets, 10th in routes run, 12th in PPR points per game. Okay, so it wasn't like difference-making range, but it was, okay, I can start him, and it's okay. It didn't kill his value. But it's interesting. I mean, he probably lost 30% of his value from last year to this year. And then you look at, okay, was that just him, or was it every weapon on the Broncos that lost a ton of value last year? And so you have to kind of just hope that the situation changes. I think one big problem with Noah Fant is he has an Albert Okwuegbunam problem. I mean, unfortunately, that's another decent tight end prospect that pretty much has everything Noah Fant does except for draft capital, and he's too good to not play. So you look at a lot of the splits, like when Albert O plays, it's hard to say I trust Noah Fant to be a top 6, top 8 tight end on the week. Mm-hmm. Some games where Alberto didn't play, his market share rises. And I think that's what you're going to have to deal with. I'm not worried, though. Like, I'll buy Noah Fant in Dynasty because I'm buying for his second contract. I'm buying for his next situation. I'm buying for when Alberto is gone. They're going to both hit free agency in the same year after 2023. So the Broncos could keep one and they could let the other go. I like both. I think you should buy now until that situation starts to kind of clear itself out. Give it 1 more year, and like a year from now, I think we're going to be looking at both Alberto and Noah Fant, especially if they upgrade at quarterback, Rodgers, Watson, Wilson, even Garoppolo. I think we're going to look like a year from now and say, I want both of these guys heading into free agency.
Yeah, Fant's just very meh, whatever. I'm not going out of my way to get him.
Like your energy level right now.
No, I'm just saying, like, Fant doesn't excite me. I mean, look, Fant coming out of college, I loved Fant, right? As everyone should have, because he was just a physical marvel. I don't know what to say here.
10% more routes run when Alberto doesn't play, and averaged more than 2 targets per game more when Alberto doesn't play.
But here's the problem, though. So with that, targets are earned, right? So if you're a better player when another guy's out, well, that means maybe you're not the alpha that we want you to be.
I think it speaks to both of those. I think Alberto is actually really good as well, and there's just not a lot of meat to go around in that offense. So you have to hope that the overall efficiency of the offense goes up. Everyone goes up. Pick your poison who you want. If we're talking dynasty, like investments, I want both the tight ends. And obviously, I want the other players too, but he's not a buy for short-term production. You're not buying him so you can get a top 5 tight end next year, probably.
And that's, I don't think that he's someone that you need to rush out and buy right now anyway. Even if Aaron Rodgers ends up there, that target share is going to be split between, I mean, again, we just talked about Alberto. That's fine. And then obviously the wide receivers, Judy, Patrick, and then Hamler, and then I guess Sutton. So, I mean, the target share is going to be spread really thin. So it's hard for me to see how Fant's going to put up elite numbers or even anything approaching like top 5 tight end numbers. So if he gets Aaron Rodgers or Matt Corral or I don't know who else could end up there, even Jimmy G, yeah, I think, you know, we'll see a spike in production, but I don't think we'll see a massive spike, so much so that you'd have to pay considerably more in a year than you would right now. Now, if you're all about buying at the basement prices, yes.
I disagree with Shane. I mean, if they get Aaron Rodgers, his value absolutely doubles in the next month. So
well, yeah, his value,
his trade value,
his trade value will, yes. But I'm talking about, and then when the production doesn't fall in line with that, and everybody's going to go, well, hey, I think
that's the thing. Good. If he gets Rodgers, yeah, he is not going to be a guy that's going to win with a 25% market share. He's going to win because he has an efficient offense with a good quarterback, similar to a lot of other tight ends we've seen produce early on. Mark Andrews, Dawson Knox the last couple of years. Is that sustainable? Not necessarily. I don't buy tight ends so that they produce for me next year. You have to play the long game if you're going to pay for these guys like at their current market. But I just think there's a lot of positive outs with Noah Fant. What's the negative? You get the tight end 10, the tight end 12 like you did last year. I mean, I think there's a lot of ideas. Throw some trades out there, Clay.
Would you rather have Noah Fant or the 110? And let's call it, 12 team super flex, start 10, just a 1.5 tight end premium. So just a 0.5 extra premium. 110 or Noah Fant?
Knowing what I know of this class, Noah Fant.
How about George Kittle or Noah Fant in the 107?
I think that's a very intriguing pivot, especially in a 1.5. I think you could argue to take the Fant side because they're both going to face similar challenges. You know, I mean, if I told you right now that Fant's going to have Rodgers and Kittle's going to have Trey Lance, I wouldn't be shocked if they're close to each other in production for the next year or two.
Yeah, I mean, I'm soured on Kittle after going all in on him in so many leagues, and then Kyle Shanahan deciding that he didn't need to target him as much as I wanted him to. Yeah, I'd probably take the Fant side.
Same deal with Waller. Would you take the Fant in the 107?
Over Waller?
Yep.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think that would be closer, but yeah, I think I'd still do that.
All right.
Yeah, Waller, at least I know is going to see the targets. At least out of all three of these guys, as long as Waller's on the field, I know he's going to see an insane target share.
Yep.
I don't care who the head coach is over there. Oh, wait, it's Josh McDaniels, who happens to know a thing or two about targeting elite tight ends.
Who do you like better, Knox or Fant?
Fant.
Yeah, Fant. Yeah.
How close is Gesicki to Fant?
I like Gesicki a lot. Of all the guys that are out there in that like mid-tier tight end 2 or low end tight end 1 range, I think Gesicki is probably my favorite target there. But I'm looking at the ADP right now. If you can throw a mid-second with Dalton Schultz or a mid-second with Irv Smith, any of those to get up to Fant, I'll do that.
I would put a mid-second on top of Irv Smith for Fant in a heartbeat, man. That's seriously what
early second
is looking like. Early second,
early to mid for Dalton Schultz. But when he's a free agent, if he doesn't go back to Dallas and he lands in Cleveland or something random like that, like his value sunk because he does not have the profile to back up like commanding any sort of offensive scheme around him.
Who do you like better between Freiermuth and Fant?
Fant.
I think that's a coin flip. They're basically the same.
They're right there, right?
Yep. I think you could probably pivot from Freiermuth to Fant and get something on top. That's where if you have one of those late first that you can't get a 23 first for and you want to swap them out, wait till the rollover and send that 109 and Freiermuth for Fant in a 23. Yeah, that's the kind of move you can sneak some value into.
Did you tear down from Andrews to Fant if you're getting enough? If I were to give you
no, because Andrews is the 2.
Do you want Andrews or Fant in the 103?
I'm taking Andrews.
Come on, Shane.
I'm taking Andrews.
In a 1.5 premium, that's hard to. I don't think in a 1.5 premium there is a tight end other than Pitts that's worth more than the 101. So like I don't think in a 1.5 premium I would give the 101 for Mark Andrews. The only player would be Pitts. So if I'm sitting and it's just the 103, That's enticing. That's enticing.
I mean,
Range of
Andrews
outcomes.
Andrews outscored Fant by 8 points a game last year.
That's last year, though.
Okay,
last year.
I know, and we do base some of our decisions off of what we've seen.
I mean, dude, I'm the biggest
I'm
the biggest Mark Andrews fan there is. I've loved Andrews from the get-go.
Not.
From the get-go, not now because he's too expensive.
You were a Hayden Hurst guy. You were always a Hayden Hurst guy.
Come on. The idea, though, is that when you're talking some of these other tight ends that are in this top 12 ADP, guys like Schultz, maybe Freiermuth, like they don't have the profiles of Noah Fant. You know, like you can get to Fant cheaper because of the profile than you could have ever before, and I'll buy the profile still with the tight end. I'm not going to cast the tight end into the garbage after 2 years or 3 years, like other positions.
Yeah, he's still going to be tricky to get it. It's going to have to be a creative way of getting him because you can't just throw 2 seconds and get Noah Fant, right?
You might could do that.
If the Fant owner is done, if the Fant owner is done with Fant, maybe, or if the Fant owner really likes rookie picks, maybe. But I don't know if a savvy dynasty player would
look. You get fatigue. Everyone gets fatigue, right? Like you draft it, everyone does. It doesn't matter how long you've played this game. Like you get certain players that you just get fatigued on. You spent all this money on a Fant. You spent all this draft capital on him because he is just a physical marvel. He is an Adonis. And you loved watching his college tape because he was just a great wide receiver that was labeled a tight end, right?
Shane, 202 and 204 are Noah Fant.
Oh no, I'm taking Fant. I'm just saying. I could see the story.